Well, welcome back. We're going to look at Galatians 3, 10 through 14. That's the lesson here, lesson number 20 out of Galatians and the Gospel series in particular, two objects of faith. And as you read the passage, you're going to see the Apostle Paul referencing the two different objects of faith there. Of course, it's either salvation by grace through faith or faith in self, faith in works. And the lesson objectives to learn what is expected of me as a Christian with regards to the gospel. Note there, as a Christian. So the gospel has bearing on the Christian's life. Then, secondly, to show forth the curse that we deserved, but Christ became. And so the Apostle Paul, under inspiration, quotes the Old Testament several times. I'll give you some of the references in the lesson. Hope you'll take time to see there how that anyone that hung on a tree was considered a curse, and that was the punishment for not keeping the whole law. What is Paul saying? Well, there are two paths, faith in Christ, faith in works. Why is Paul saying this? An individual who has been saved by grace through faith in Galatia, so he's writing to these Galatian believers, they need to see how that when they were converted, it was by grace through faith, but they have a tendency to revert back to another gospel. And so they're standing in opposition to God's purpose to work through faith. So in other words, if you've been saved by grace through faith, it's important that if we start believing, feeling, and behaving by another gospel, we're living by another gospel, finding our perfection, our maturity, our completion in keeping the law, because for some reason we think God doesn't love us or he's unhappy with us, then what we're doing is reverting back to a works mentality. And you need to see, and we need to see, and they in Galatia needed to see how this is in opposition to God's initial plan by faith in Abraham. A couple applications, and then some of these are fleshed out a little bit more, but remembering the actual truth of what it took to save our souls is always a good thing. As Christians, either we continue to accept and believe that Christ became the curse for our inability to live according to the law, or we revert to attempting to remove guilt and condemnation by what we do. And then thirdly, Christians who live this way need to understand how dismissive they are being of the concrete truth that Jesus Christ was made a curse for you already, or for us already. So again, in this way, there in that third bullet point refers back to the second bullet point. What is this way? It's a way in which we try and add to our righteous account with God, as if God is recognizing our goodness after salvation. The truth of the matter is all the goodness I ever needed, all the righteousness we all would ever need, came to us in the person of Jesus Christ. He is made to us the righteousness of God. God bless you as you study and as you prepare to give this lesson.